So I'm going through my Snapchat and it says hypothetical general question. And it says, why do active fathers need to pay child support? And the answer to that is there's still a child that needs to be supported. You are paying child support because you are single or divorced. If you were married, then you would be financially providing for the child regardless. The child would be in your married home. So that's the answer to that question. What's up? I'm Diva Temper. I don't know how I know you. I don't know how you know me. This is social media. But you have a general question, and I got a fucking answer. Hi, I had a daddy. My daddy just died last year. It sucked. I walked in, he was dead in the living room. He had a heart attack. Okay. So I had a father figure, grew up with the dad. Okay. Um, See, this is my dad and I when I was a kid, and this is the last birthday that we celebrated together, and this is when I was a teenager. So, have a father. My father passed away. Okay. Um, so my mom and dad had me. My mom and dad were not married. My I came around, it was basically like a friend with benefit type of situation, right? My dad, instead of leaving or even going back to Chile or whatever the fuck, he stayed around, right? And my dad, because they were not, my mom, because they were not married, was on welfare and other types of things, right? And so because of that, they automatically had him on child support. So because of the marriage status, because of the relationship status, that is why the active parent might still have to pay child support, right? Um, that's really what it comes down to, you know. And I think that's really important because if it's not court ordered, if it's not documented, then the mom or the dad can say, oh well, she never da 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 da, and there's no like receipts, you know. But if it's court ordered, if it's, you know, you went to the child support office, it's documented when the deposits were made and shit like that. So I just think that honestly it should be. Also, I have a kid. My kid is 15. Her father went to prison and got out, and he passed away. He's been dead for 3 years. So because of the way he lived, right? Like I just said, like he was in prison and whatnot. I never got a fucking dime, and he like was never consistent with a job or anything like that because, you know, he went to prison, so he was like into some illegal shit, and like court ordered because we were not married, right? He was court ordered to pay like $50 a month in child support. So I'm really like, what is this child support thing? My dad was a legal resident, right? So he wasn't a citizen, but he was a legal resident, and he worked like as a taxi driver, right? And that's not really like a stable income type of thing. So like when I say like I don't know how much child support he paid, and I know my dad paid off his child support even like when I was past 18, because I remember when I was like in my 20s going home, like seeing the mail and like, daddy, why the fuck do you have a letter from child support services? What? And what if it was the other way? What if you kicked her out, right? What if you kicked her out and she had to go house to house and car to car and shit like that? You wouldn't have been like, hey, you know what? Let me put you on child support. You wouldn't have been like that. You don't think it works like that? You don't think and if your mind doesn't work like that, why doesn't your mind work like that? I mean, because yeah, whatever happened, but you still have this kid to support. Supporting that kid doesn't stop. Doesn't matter what the fuck you're going through. I think that's the answer right there. I think that's the answer right there. Because you would never. You see, I think that's what it is. I think that's really what you're mad at. You wouldn't do it to her, so why the fuck did she do it to you? I don't think because you are an active father, and so you clearly, you know, supported, and before you guys broke up, you took care of shit and whatever. You're upset because, one, you would never do that to her. Two, you think like, you know, there's a third party in your fucking business, which is valid, but it all goes back to you. It's like your ego got hurt because you're not disagreeing with having to support your kid, right? You're not disagreeing with that, right? Because like you said, you're an active father. So if you're an active father, that means that you support your kid, right? Financially, emotionally, you show up. I don't know how old your kid is or anything like that, but like, right? You don't think that one time when, you know, you bought that sweater, you know, that, you know, you're not considering shit like that, but you're saying like, hey, my son's with me. I just went into my own spa. You know, I just went and picked up my son. She didn't have a diaper bag ready for me. She didn't do nothing. I just fucking went to the house, picked up my kid, and that's cool, right? That's what you're telling me, right? Because if there was a marriage and you were going through a divorce, there would still be a child support custody conversation. So to answer your question, the reason why active fathers be put on child support is because they are not married. So if you're single and or if you get divorced, you do get put on child support. All right.